What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today, with the conclusion of The Flash Season 9, we're going to be ranking all of The Flash's season premieres. And with this list, guys, please keep in mind that it was super hard to rank these episodes because, in my opinion, none of them are really, that bad. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get into my ranking. So coming in at number 9, and what I think is the worst season premiere of The Flash, is actually The Flash Season 9's premiere. Now, this premiere, it wasn't, like I said, I don't think any of these episodes are bad. So yeah, I don't think this episode was too bad. I mean, the map book that Barry had and, the future talk, the time travel talk was pretty cool. Barry versus Captain Boomerang was probably the best part of the episode when he phased an entire bomb throughout Central City. That was a pretty cool, scene right there. The time loop stuff I didn't really enjoy. It was kind of meh. The Keone stuff, of course, started up in this episode, which really sucked. And then, of course, the Allegra, Chester, and Cecile stuff, the usual Season 9 stuff, was really, really bad. So, yeah, while I don't think this episode was too bad because it did really focus on Barry and Iris, it still, in my opinion, is the worst season premiere. So coming in at number 8, I have Season 4's premiere. So basically, first of all, I have to say this. Iris is extremely annoying in this episode and the entire season of Season 4. That's like the only season I really did not like Iris. So yeah, she's very bad in this episode. But seeing, Wally in the Flash suit was really cool, as obviously, in the comics, and to some people who have only read the comics, he's mostly known as the Flash. Yeah, another cool moment was when Barry saved Iris after he came out of the Speed Force. And, when Barry came out of the Speed Force, I guess you could say it was really interesting, what was going on with him saying that like Speed Force language or whatever. But yeah, when he remembered who he was and saved Iris, that was a pretty cool scene. Thinker's first appearance was cool. But in this episode also, Caitlin's storyline was just stupid. And the episode was just like really boring at times. So like I said, while Season 4's premiere is not bad, it's still nowhere near as good as the rest of these premieres that I have, in my opinion. So yeah, Season 4's premiere comes in at number 8. So now at number 7, I have Season 2's premiere, and this episode, was still entertaining. We do get our first Zoom reference, which is pretty cool, but Barry is actually the one who's annoying for once in this episode. This is like one of the only times he's been really annoying. He just didn't want to work with any of Team Flash and just wants to be by himself. He also kills the villain without remorse, which he obviously never does. So this episode was not that good in terms of Barry. But Barry's dad getting out of prison was a great scene. So was the scene where Wells confesses to Barry's mother's death. So yeah, like I said, the episode, was not all bad, but nonetheless, Season 2's premiere comes in at number 7. Now, at number 6, I have Season 7's premiere. First of all, the scene where all the Welleses die was such an emotional scene. Seeing all of them, just one last time, I thought that was a great touch. Barry getting his speed back from the artificial Speed Force was probably the best scene in the entirety of The Flash Season 7. Barry inheriting the Wells into him, before all that happened was also pretty funny. But the one main thing holding this episode back is that both Cisco and Caitlin weren't in it, which was honestly a bit annoying, as it was literally just Chester and Allegra the whole time in this episode, along with Barry and the Welleses. But other than that, I thought this episode was a really great start to Season 7. Obviously, Season 7 didn't end up being that good. But yeah, nonetheless, Season 7's premiere comes in at number 6. So at number 5, I have Season 3's premiere. Now, I did not expect this one to be that high, but this is still a good episode of The Flash, but obviously it's bad given the circumstances. This is Flashpoint, where obviously Barry's parents are alive in an alternate timeline, but it's not nearly as good as the comics or animated film. I mean, yeah, they can't use some characters because of rights and stuff, but they still could have made it a bit more similar. I think that could have still been possible. Obviously in the original animated film or the comics, they have a big war going on between Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Obviously they can't use those characters, but they could say that there's a big meta-human war, or something along those lines. I think would have made Flashpoint a little bit more interesting. Nonetheless, seeing Kid Flash for the first time was cool. The Rival isn't too bad of a villain. I also think Flashpoint should have lasted longer, like maybe 4 or 5 episodes or something like that instead of just 1. And the one thing that's really good about this episode is the Reverse Flash and Flash rivalry. It's so amazing to watch. And yeah, like I said, that sort of carries this episode, the Reverse Flash stuff. But yeah, I thought that is why it's this high on the list, and I actually did enjoy that a lot. So yeah, Season 3's premiere comes in at number 5. So now at number 4, we have Season 5's premiere, and I think this is a really fun episode. We get some future talk with the Flash Museum and the newspaper article. We see Barry get the Flash ring for the first time, which is cool, even though the suit inside the Flash ring isn't that good. We see a scene right out of the comics with Barry, Wally, and Nora phasing a plane through a bridge, which was really cool. Barry teaches Nora how to phase by saying the exact words that the Wells Reverse Flash said to Barry back in Season 1, which was just awesome. And the ending where we saw Cicada's first appearance was great because he actually seemed like a really threatening villain. So all in all, not a bad episode at all. This is a great start to Season 5, and I actually do think Season 5 is a bit underrated. I really did enjoy it. So yeah, Season 5's premiere comes in at number 4. Now at number 3, I have Season 8's premiere. Of course, this is the start of Armageddon. Barry using his powers like he's supposed to is the thing I really enjoyed about this season, or this episode right here. Like when he went into Flash time and when he used the speed mirages. I thought that was just so cool to see once again because we had not seen all that for a long time. Despero in this episode was a really cool villain. I thought he was pretty threatening. Of course, Ray Palmer, aka the Atom, returning was awesome. And you know, the Royal Flush Gang were the villains of the episode besides Despero, and they weren't exactly that good until Barry just went into Flash time to defeat them, which, like I said, was such a cool scene. So yeah, of course, you know, you still had like Allegra and whatnot, just kind of obviously ruining the episode. But I thought it was still good for the most part because, you know, Season 8 at least still did focus on Barry for the most part. So yeah, Season 8's premiere comes in at number 3. So now at number 2, I have Season 6's premiere. Barry and Iris reacting to the newspaper article, you know, changing from 2024 to 2019, and, you know, foreshadowing Crisis on Infinite Earths. I thought was so cool, you know, to start off the episode. Barry fighting Godspeed to start off the episode as well was, like, just kind of random and unexpected, but I did enjoy that just because, you know, we didn't know how bad Godspeed would be in Season 7. I really did enjoy Ralph in this episode as well. It's really a shame that he's not on the show anymore. We got our first look at Ramsey Rosso, aka Bloodwork, which was really cool to see. Obviously, he's one of the best villains on The Flash ever. And then at the end, the Monitor coming in and telling Barry that he has to die in Crisis on Infinite Earths, so then you know, the entire multiverse doesn't, you know, be erased from existence. I thought that was a really cool ending scene right there, and that sort of carries on throughout the rest of the first half of Season 6 and leads into Crisis on Infinite Earths. I thought all that was great build-up. So yeah, Season 6's premiere comes in at number 2. And at number 1 is the pilot episode, Season 1's premiere. Seeing Barry get struck by lightning and becoming the Flash was awesome. The Dr. Wells scene where he says, "Run, Barry, run," was one of the best scenes of the Flash ever. Getting our first look at the Man in Yellow, of course, you know, at that night when Barry's mother was murdered, was really cool. The scene with Barry and his dad at the end was really emotional. I love seeing those scenes. And of course, the end revealing the newspaper article about the Flash vanishing was great as well, and that kind of, I guess, shaped the show, if you want to put it that way. So yeah, I think that, you know, Season 1's premiere deserves to be at number 1. I mean, some of you guys might have a different opinion, but yeah, like I said, it was really hard to rank these, so yeah, make sure you guys comment your ranking down below. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as, like I said, your ranking of the Flash's premieres. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.